Hello, everyone. What? You have to say it with me. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We just wanted to share something that was coming through yesterday about the current energies in the world. Maybe you can give an overview.
Yeah, I guess what Ashmi and I have been feeling, and I guess we just want to put words to that and share what we're feeling. But I guess we've lived in a world that, most people who are tuned into it will agree that it's quite masculine energy in terms of how we move about, how everything's expressed, how our systems are, how we're expected to be in society. It's very masculine in nature, and I think, or we feel more so, what we're feeling now is the energy of the earth is changing in itself, and I'm talking about Mother Earth here, not just the people and the energies that occupy it. It's changing in a way where the feminine energy is rising, and you can actually check this. Ashmi might be able to put a screenshot up of the Schumann resonance, which is the Earth's frequency, which is
you can measure it, but
yeah,
it's the frequency of the earth, and it's going up, and there's certain energy spikes, and some people track this, but often you'll have symptoms, like our bodies will be feeling this energy. Most people don't know about it, but you might have headaches or high energy or bliss. It depends on the person.
or very tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the basis of it is that the energy of the earth's changing, and there's a lot of energy coming into the earth, and for us, what the feeling is for us, and what it's calling us to do is it's that feminine energy. So it's the witness, it's the silence, it's the embodiment, it's the space holding. The masculine end is very active. It's doing, it's go, it's
hustle, busy.
Yeah. Well, and there's different expressions of these energies. There's the negative expression, there's the positive expression of both the masculine and the feminine. But
I would have said the world has been imbalanced with too much emphasis on the masculine energy.
Yep.
Where we want to head is a complete balance between both masculine and feminine.
That's what I was getting to.
Yeah. In order to get there, we need to see the feminine energy rise in the world. And the feminine energy is like the mother. So it's more in surrender and flowing, and it's about holding and nurturing you, and kind of allowing instead of forcing. So it changes the way we are being, it changes the way we feel, it changes the energy that we move to. And yeah, it's a really positive shift for the earth, because the overemphasized masculine has put us in this complete stress, not enough time, and it's really been pushing our bodies.
Yep. Yeah, so to me, basically, we're being called to go in. We're being called to slow down. We're being called to relax our nervous system, quiet our beings, become witness to what is in the world, to become silent inside so we can see the truth of the world, and we can be part of it in its totality, and we can be connected to ourselves, and we can be connected to all. So we're being called in to quiet our beings, to sit in silence with ourselves, to allow the energy to come in. As Ashmi said, surrender to what's coming through, surrender to the changes that are coming, because we're being called to harmonize our beings away from the, as Ashmi said, the do, go mentality. Like right now, we can try and keep pushing into that, but it's harder and harder, and we're running away from ourselves. And the energy right now, it's hard not to tune into, because it's so powerful. Like, the energy is so powerful right now, calling us to slow down, calling us to come into our being, calling us to be witness to it all, to express ourselves in a natural way, but to express ourselves creatively, from an aligned way of our being, from our heart. If we're in that energy, then we're in flow, and we're not against. Right now we've been in an energy where we've been pushing, so we've been pushing against ourselves. So it takes a lot of energy, and it takes constant pushing, push, and we're in this pattern of go, go, go. But we've been asked to slow down, and this other energy is rising, and we're trying to harmonize or create this union in ourselves, so we can create greater union with each other in relationship and as a whole around the world, so we can come into a unity way of being, or a unity consciousness, and be more connected.
Yeah, and this energy is so powerful, but what happens when we don't listen to that call to slow down? You'll start to feel it as another symptom, like anxiety. So for me, the other day, I know there's this presence and this peace wanting me to slow down and just unplug from my phone, get out of the noise out there in the world, slow down. But when I ignore it, it came out as anxiety, like right here, and tightness in my chest, and inability to breathe deeply. But what I saw was this energy is actually showing us what's available. So it is available for us to breathe deeply. And when you do that, just a minute of that, I brought the anxiety, kind of, it dissipated. And I went back into my heart. I went into my belly, and I felt this insane amount of peace. So it's available for us, but a lot of us are choosing not to tune into it, or not to invest time into getting there. And it shows us, like, if you fight it, you're going to feel it as stress, anxiety, pain in your body. If you surrender to it, if you listen to the call, if you stop trying to focus on your to-do list and rushing, and you just surrender as much as you can to whatever extent you can in your life, you'll feel the effects of it. And another way is going into nature. So yesterday we went to the beach, and the second I dipped under the ocean, it just cleansed me, and I felt all of my body, my nervous system relax. Yeah. So it's beautiful once you tune in.
Yeah, and Ash, as Ashmi is saying, with the breath, like, the more we can sit with ourselves and breathe deep into our body, allow the resistance to go, allow the thoughts to dissipate, the ones we have to overcome, to be silent in our being, the breath will drop deeper and deeper, all the way down, taking the energy all the way down to what people call the root chakra, or to the base of your being. So then when that starts to all open up, the energy flow opens going down, that it then can cycle back up. And then we get into this cyclic flow, or magnetic flow of energy in our being. And we start to open up, and we start to move in that magnetic flow, move in that presence, move in that surrendered, trusting, harmonized way of being. And it just changes how we experience life. And that's what we're all being called to do, to go in, to harmonize ourselves, and it'll just change our experience of the world.
That's beautiful.
So something that I just want to add to the harmonization of our being. There is a lot of talk of the masculine and feminine, and it's big in the spiritual communities anyway, and there's a lot of emphasis on it, and I understand why there is, because it gives us capacity. We need concepts to be able to understand things, and to be able to relate to them and embody them in our being. What I want to express is that the harmonization of these energies sometimes, to me, or the expression of these energies sometimes gets lost in these concepts, because people think they need to be masculine, or think they need to be feminine, or they need to embody this archetype or something to be more of this. But for me, the real understanding and the real balancing of these energies is that once we harmonize our beings, once we're in harmony with ourselves, or we're finding this harmonized frequency in selves, that's the neutrality, the complete balance of our beings energetically. So it's just all energy. And when we're in a harmonized way of being, our expression, our outward expression, or the energy for when we do respond to something, if it needs to be masculine in nature, in a sense, then our being will be in harmony, but expressing that naturally. And if it needs to be feminine in nature, we'll still be in harmony, expressing that naturally.
In a healthy way.
In a healthy way. It'll be coming from our heart, whether masculine is your relationship to it or feminine is how you see it.
Yeah.
We just respond in a harmonized way.
Because everyone has masculine and feminine energy inside themselves. So
absolutely.
He has both, and I have both, and you have both. So
yeah, it's not about being male or female.
It's the energy.
It's the energy, and this is the thing, because we're so we live in a society that's so masculine dominated by our systems and the way we present ourselves. That for a male to present in a more balanced way in terms of some situations, why aren't you more like that? Because you're holding, proper space for someone to be vulnerable, or if someone's upset, or someone's
showing your own emotion.
Showing your own emotions. It's like that takes real strength, and that's coming from a place of balance. When you feel like you need to be, I need to present myself as strong and masculine, you're not in balance with yourself, you're not in harmony with yourself, and you're protecting yourself in a sense. It's trying to protect your heart. So when we're in harmony with our heart, we're not protecting our heart, because we're just in harmony, and just the love emanates out, and we don't need to protect it, because we're held, we're supported, we're loved in everything we do, and we just need to see that in our own beings, connect with that in our own beings, because that's the greatest thing, just loving the beauty that is you, and that just harmonizes it all, and then from there we can express in a true way. We don't need to get caught up in these concepts of the mind. We just flow, and we just feel it from our beings, and it's just so natural. We're not trying to be something or be something that we're not. We're just being us, and it's beautiful. And eventually, or where we're moving to is a space where that's the most important, because that's where you feel the best. You're not looking out and worrying about and judging others. You're just in your own being, feeling magical and just emanating love out from you. And you share that with everyone. And that allows everyone to be exactly who they are, because you're not getting caught in the mind and lost in it, because straight away you're giving away the peace of your being, the harmony that's in your being. You're giving it away for judgment and of others, of this idea of self and ego that we build up, and comparison to others, where the beauty and the peace and feeling amazing and blissful all the time, that's in you. If that's your biggest focus, then that's what you're going to embody, that's what you're going to feel, and that's what you're going to share. And I know it's not easy, because we've been pulled into this left brain identity, ego dominant way of being, masculine way of being too. So to come back to a more harmonized state, it's challenging, but that's what we're saying. The energies right now are supporting that, and they're really supporting that.
Beautiful. Yeah, for me, it's the opposite, where I was in my career, I was way too masculine focused, or not. My energy was way too masculine, because I felt like I had to do that to fit in with a room full of male executives. I wore a lot of black, not that that's not always masculine, but it was my way of showing more power and strength, and pushing down my feminine side. And I was a bit more, I don't know, how would you say, like more aggressive, or more yeah, on
Yeah,
top of things, more hustling
yeah,
and
just disconnected from your natural being
my natural
and
self.
your
Yeah.
heart, because it's so
Mm.
pure, it's loving, it's sharing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so it took me a while. It was a big unlearning to come to the center of my being into a place where I feel balanced within both. And it doesn't mean like now when I feel the creative urge, because feminine doesn't mean you don't take action. Like the feminine is about birthing and creating, but the
Absolutely, yeah.
place you do that from is different and from a
Mm.
healthy feminine. And now when I have a creative urge, I do create and I do have spikes of where I'm in action mode, but I also surrender and trust, and I also take time to rest and listen to my body. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, everyone will relate to it their own way, but you will feel the difference when you feel more in balance in yourself, less pulled by the outer, more true to who you really are. Because I feel like this journey is about coming into yourself and who you actually are inside,
Absolutely.
like your true essence. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and right now with, I mean, the outside world, it's pretty crazy. So this is
Mm.
why this, you know, if we're stuck in the outside world, then we're out of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're active. It's the masculine energy in a sense where it's pulling us out. It's pulling us out. It's pulling us out. It's pulling us out. Um, and but right now we need to be coming in to that
Mm.
peace to be able to hold space for ourselves, because when we're in that space, you know, none of this outer stuff, you know, it's not really going to have a big impact,
Mm.
and you can hold space from there for others
Yeah.
who are awakening to their own true nature,
Mm.
awakening to the truth of their outer reality and their inner reality, and
Yeah.
holding space for that, for space for yourself, will hold space for others in that, and
Mm.
that's really such a beautiful gift.
And that holding space is the healthy divine masculine. So, a healthy divine masculine is a protector. So,
Yeah,
it holds space. It allows the feminine within you to feel safe to express.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, that's
absolutely.
one
Yeah,
quality, but there's
yeah,
a lot of beautiful qualities about them too.
yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm feeling with all this is, and that I'm going to add to this, is that, you know, the expression of the feminine in the world
Mm.
is going to be, you know, is going to start becoming more prominent.
Yeah.
And for example, like Ashmi and I just want to use an example of an experience that we've had with
Mm.
it, is that we're stepping into doing these videos or sharing of ourselves in this format, and it's had its challenges, because this is part of like harmonizing our being, and so much of
Mm.
the energy out there now is that egoic energy, and it's for all of us. The ego's in us all, and I'm not saying that we're better or anything than anyone else. Far from it. We're
Mm.
on the journey just the same as anyone, but that's the thing that reacts. You know, it doesn't respond. It doesn't come from the heart and respond. It reacts to what's going on. So by us sharing our truth and being vulnerable with that, a more feminine energy, um, the reactive
Mm.
energy or the egoic energy, especially in the world out there, the mind that has to be right, definitely this, you know, more egoic energy or masculine energy wants to try and, you know, there can be that energy that wants to be right and try and push down what we're doing. Well, we're just sharing. We're not telling people not to have their own journey and follow their own truths and find their own truth. We're just sharing ours. And if it resonates, then people can listen. If it doesn't, then of course, you know,
Mm.
follow your own journey, follow your own path. But so we're sharing that, and we've had a lot of positive energy come back to us,
Mm.
and we've also had some negative energy as well too. And I just want to use an example because it really stood out for me in that,
Mm.
for me, when I was stepping into this, there was a lot of challenges leaving my job, and then you know, telling family, telling friends. But so when I went down and told my mum that I was leaving my job, I had to be honest, you know, fully transparent, because this is part of the liberation of self. Tell her
Mm.
that, you know, I'm leaving my job. Um, Ashmi and I, neither of us are working. We've bought a property, so we've just got a property, and it's not in the convention of the
It
world,
doesn't make
not
sense.
what you do.
Yeah.
So doing that, And then I've told my mum about all these things that we believe are happening in the world and how everything's changing. And she's just held space for me and listened and hasn't reacted.
So sweet.
And just given us space and just, yeah, it was just beautiful how she held that space. And then since that time, we've been sharing our videos, and then we've shared them with my mum and Ashmi's family as well, of course. And she's just, the way she's responded has been so beautiful because it hasn't been reactive. It hasn't gone, what, you think Donald Trump's good, or that you really think like all these people or these people are out to get you, or that the world's really like this. She hasn't questioned any of that or reacted to any of that. She's just said beautiful things that have come from the heart. So to me, that's the divine feminine and a harmonized response. You know, it's a balanced response. So she's responded in a way that, wow, you and Ashmi, you really flow well together in your videos.
You're stepping into your courage.
And it's so courageous, that you're stepping in and sharing something like what we believe that Trump's actually serving the world and helping people. Many people don't see that. That's fine. You know, that's their journey. We're not telling them to see it, but that's our truth. And everyone just holding space to share truth. That's harmony, and that's how we all come to a unified way of being and greater inner standing, outer standing and inner standing. So, but she's just held beautiful space for us and just said, wow, that's real courageous of you stepping in and saying that things like that. And that's beautiful. And that's what we see, the changes that's happening in the world. And that's the rising of that feminine energy. But
yeah, because we're moving from a reactive way of being to more responsive. And when we react, we're reacting from the old wounds or triggers or our ego. Something in you is being triggered to create an emotion like anger or upset or judgment. And then you project that back onto someone else. Whereas when you're living in the heart, you come from love. And you come from equality and oneness, and you see the heart and the intention of the other person. It doesn't mean you are a pushover. You can hold very loving boundaries, but it's a totally different way of relating.
Exactly. And this is what's being cleared in the world right now. Like for this energy to rise, for us to harmonize our beings, this we're all having to step into our truth and be more seen and be more truthful to ourselves, like seeing ourselves fully, so the rest of the world or our friends, our family, whoever it is, that we can be seen and we can hold space for others to be seen. And this is what's changing. And we might trigger each other and cause these things where we have to look into ourselves to clear that, because eventually we'll come to a space in ourselves where we'll have so much love for ourselves that people can react or attack or whatever, but it doesn't touch us, because in our core we're just so at peace and at love in our being that it only touches the periphery, it only touches the outside. It has no effect because we only react from the outside. In the heart of our being there is love. In the heart of our being there is peace, and this is where we're all moving to, and we're all reflecting for each other to help us move to that point. And the more we get closer to that, the more we might start to react, but then start to observe ourselves reacting and then go deeper into our being and see, hang on, why am I reacting to someone saying something like that? Because that doesn't actually really affect me, has no effect on me or on my life, because I can choose to not listen, or I can choose to listen and go, why am I reacting like that? Because there's always a reason, and that's there for us all, and we're all on that journey. But this is where we help each other. Sometimes it's in a beautiful way of reflection, and we're just gently reflecting for each other. Other times it's really hard, and sometimes we have those people that reflect and get us to react and do trigger us. But that's also has such beautiful purpose for us to look deeper into ourselves. So it's all there for this magical journey of rising together in love and harmonizing our beings.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all we have to say today. But the basis of what we're saying is that allow yourself to feel into the energies that are changing.
Mm.
Be gentle with yourself. Be loving with yourself. Give yourself whatever space you need. You might need to be more active, but in an expressive type of way. But that's still healthy for you. You know, just follow the energy of what's true for you, and you know, find the love in your being, and give yourself space, because we are harmonizing, and the earth and the energy and all the energies of the outer world and the inner world are coming together to help us harmonize our beings and move into a beautiful space together where we create magic in ourselves and magic outside, and we just feel free to express and be.
The energy of the future is so supportive. It really will hold us. You know, it will help us step up into our highest selves, our highest expressions, our highest joy. And yeah, it will really support creating peace on earth. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So
we're really
peace to you
excited.
all, love to you all, and
We love you.
we'll see you soon. Love you.
Yeah.